Well, howdy. It is 7:09 p.m. and it is May 1st, 2024. I don't know why I'm on. If you are new to my channel, I don't know how to tell you. You're going to have to go back and watch videos. You're going to I don't know I don't know what else to say. My life is a whirlwind, and there are lots of hills and valleys in my life. And there are a lot of things that are going on, and there's a lot happening very fast, yet there's absolutely nothing going on at the same time. And it is a very, very weird place to be in. Because you're at peace a lot, and because you just kind of chill a lot. I work from home, I go kayaking, I do my thing, and all this stuff. So you learn a lot, and you watch a lot, and you observe a lot, and you listen a lot, and you heal a lot. And there's a lot that happens all the time. And you kind of go, God, and you just realize, like, you find all this knowledge, and you just want to soak it in, and you want to know more, and you want to understand more, and you're going, man, that is an amazing way to look at, like, you want more knowledge than you do worldly things, if that makes any sense to you. And so sometimes everything is just zooming by and things are flying by, but yet you're just kind of flowing in the river. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. It's just really weird to me. And you just know when you're supposed to come on, and you know when you're not supposed to come on, and then God will tell you something, and something comes to your head, and you kind of go, wow, could that really happen? Like, is that really how this goes? And then you sit and you put pieces together of things that you were told and things that you knew, and you go, oh my gosh, that's happening right now. Like, you kind of just, God blows you away. I don't know how else to explain this to people. I'm blown away at how much I'm learning about myself in this process. So I prayed. You guys, I can't make this up. This is insane now, because I am processing this right now. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the craziest thing in the world. I prayed in and manifested to get a better job so that I could start doing better with my finances and getting out of a little bit of a hole and trying to figure some things out. My whole goal is to buy land, and I want to build on it, and I want a project. I want something that I can actually for once call my own. Because you never had anything to call your own. Sorry. I'm in real time. And I do my journey this way because I'm human, and I want everybody else to know that they're human too. But that God is real. And I'm learning to be more vulnerable as we go, and be okay with that, and be okay with who I am. This is all part of my healing. But I sit in it a lot, and I work it through. And God helps me, and we put pieces together, and then I journal it, and it's all coming together, and everybody is watching it all happen in real time. So, back to what I was saying. I prayed in to be able to make more money so that I could provide better, and so that I can start to leave something for my kids, leave a legacy for my kids, do something for my kids. And so that's where I've been. It's kind of realizing I don't even have a 401. I don't have, and I go, you know what? That's not going to be important anymore, the way that the world is going. Land is important. Trade is going to be important again if we keep going down the road that we're going. Because money and all that is just going to be sucked back into the world. If you are looking at what's happening in some of these major cities, and I came from the CEO world. So I got this new job. And I'm old school when it comes to reimbursement. And I'm old school because I'm like, show me what I need to do. I'll go in, I'll call the insurances, I can get this done, and that's how I did my interview. I've done my interview this way, everything. I came into the job, there's no training. It's all self-help training on modulars, on how to get through a system that's absolutely impossible. And I go, I have no idea how I'm going to even do this. This makes no sense to me. Well, I had a meeting with a bunch of ladies from where, and they're like my age and older, and they're old G's as well. And I go, okay, so maybe this isn't as hard as I think it's going to be. Like, maybe I need to give this a chance. Maybe I need to figure this out. And I got myself really, really frustrated today, you guys. And I went, screw this. I'm going to look for another job. This isn't what I'm looking for. This isn't how it's supposed to go. Excuse me. And all this stuff. And then I went down to the dock, and that's where I sit for a few minutes, and I sat with God. And I said, God, I need you to show me what I'm missing in this, because I'm getting irritated, and I don't know what's going on. And he was like, you asked for a new job. And I said, yeah, because I wanted to learn more. And I went, oh, dang it. I got what I asked for, which means I have to work at it. I have to do something for it. I have to dive into it. If I want to be a leader, I have to go into something that I don't know, learn it, understand it, so that when that time comes for leadership or whatever, I know the system, and maybe there's something more I can bring to the table that I've learned, or an easier way to do this, or something, something to help it be more proficient, something to help it be more better, and look at it logically and go, this makes no sense. There's such an easier way to do this. But because I don't know how to do it, I can give the idea and say, hey, is there a way to do this and this? I don't know how to do that, but can we work that out? Can we figure that out? And that's the teamwork of someone who does know how to do that. Someone who knows the system left and right and can look at it differently and can do. So I am learning what a team looks like, but how do I participate in that team? How can I be a part of a team? Well, you got to work at it. You got to start somewhere. You got to be there. So I am at a different level, but basically I'm at the bottom of a higher level. Does that make sense? I'm like at an internship higher, if that makes any sense to you. Well, that's kind of how your spirituality goes. That's kind of how this goes. You get so far in your spirituality and then you go, I don't know what's next. Like, I know what the Bible says, but I don't know anybody who's doing it. I don't know anybody who's been there. I don't know anybody who understands spiritually what is happening to help me grow spiritually in my gifts. But I have some peeps that are around me that I am learning from. But they're now feeling, I guess, safe around me, and I'm feeling safe around them to talk more about our spiritual gifts, and we don't look so crazy. And so when you can align yourself with people spiritually who understand you, you grow. But there's two sides to that. Based on where you're at in your journey and where you see things and how you see them. But that also doesn't mean that everything that you saw wasn't not right. There are things that you were correct on. There were discernments that you made. There were things, but that's their growth. That's for them to understand. Because I'm talking in real time, and I know that everybody who's watching this completely understands what's happening right now. Because so do I. There's a lot coming. Man, this is weird. But it's God. And I don't know how else to explain that to people, because I have so many people on my Facebook who've watched my journey for over a year. And they are watching me heal in front of their eyes. And they're watching my giftings come out. And everything is aligning. And I am who I say I am. But I am vulnerable, and I am weak, and I am human, and He can use anybody. Do you all understand this? And if you look at the people that are in the Bible and who He used and what they went through, but if we don't keep going forward, we're never going to know, are we? If we don't test Him the way He tests us, because the Bible, He says, test me. And all the glory goes to Him. You are seeing God in everything that I could possibly do. With whatever perspective and whatever view you see me in. Crazy, mental, weird, unstable, a bitch, a witch. I've been called it all. But I hope that somewhere in all this, there's all seeing my heart as well. Nowhere in the Bible did they ever say it was easy. But all you ever hear in the Bible is they say it was worth it. So I hope that me making this video is worth it. To whoever is hearing this, whoever needs to hear this, whoever wants to hear this. I know I only have like 6 subscribers, and I know that this is not going anywhere. But for some reason, God is just telling me to keep going, and so I'm just going to keep going in all of this. Because this all can't be for nothing. Our journeys have a purpose. And I watch everybody's growing. We're all growing. Families are coming together. Marriages are being restored. And people are showing it. And they're doing it. And families are growing. And pregnancies are happening. And everybody's in one room. And you go, God, I knew them when? I know that this journey is going to get harder. I know that this journey is going to come with more attacks. I know that this journey is going to come with more fear, more anxiety, more judgment. But if I can keep going with God, and I can be myself with peeps, and I can just keep going. Do you have any idea what we could do? What we could change? In the view of churches, in the view of God, in the view of the Bible? You know, I've been putting my journey on Facebook, and I post a bunch of things, and I don't know who sees what or how. You know, some people are starting to comment on stuff, and it's pretty cool, and it's really cool to watch how something pops up, and I post about it, and then something else pops, and it all starts to align. And the things that I am posting on my Facebook, they all start to align, and we all kind of go, holy cow. And then I watch Elevation Church, and then Elevation does their sermon, and if you can go deep spiritually on what he's saying, it's aligning with what's happening, so we're all starting to align spiritually, and you just go, holy cow. It's freaking crazy. It is crazy, but it's fun crazy to me, because I'm wild. I'm a wild child of God's. The wild children are the chosen ones, usually. Because we're willing to be spontaneous. We're willing to... I'm a Sagittarius. If you read about a Sagittarius, y'all, we are the most spiritual signs out there. That's God-given. It's of love. There is nothing wicked about love. Like, I don't understand that. But when you haven't received it, it looks really different, doesn't it? Because I've been on both sides. You guys, this is the weirdest journey. This is so weird to me. I don't know how to explain this to people. I don't know. I just do it. I just do what God tells me to do when he tells me to do it. And I guess the faster that you do that, you know when you go in the snow and you take a snowman and you make a little, and you want to make a snowman, so you make a little ball. If you take that ball and you roll it, it gets bigger and it gets bigger and it gets bigger, right? It becomes a snowman. You can decorate, you can do it, right? Well, doesn't the same thing kind of happen when I tell you that if you go in the same wheel, you're going to go in the same wheel over and over and over again, and you're going to dig yourself into the same hole, but you're going to go deeper into that hole. You're going to go into the underworld. You're going to go to hell. You're going to go... There's so many different ways for you to all view this, but either way you look at it, it still goes back biblically. Because I don't think that anything that I have said is not biblical. Questionable, maybe. But I still, if you go back after what I talk about and you go and read it and you research it yourself, you're finding it in the Bible. And I know this to be true because I'm watching everybody on Facebook grow. People are coming to me and they're asking me questions now. People are saying, hey, can you, and I'm just literally saying, what does God say? And they know. They know it because they've now heard it. It's now been, they've heard it and they've heard me say it, or they've read it, or they know it, or they heard it in an inspirational speech, or they watched it on a sermon before, but it's now triggering in them differently because they're seeing from a different perspective. They're hearing from a new voice. It's something different. In our time, in our era, God's ways are higher than our ways. I don't know the Bible, and I'm not a Bible thumper, so I apologize for those who want scripture. I don't know scripture by heart, but I do know scripture differently. And so, when God talks about going higher, he also talks about it being different. Make a way for something different. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's look at something different. Let's try to figure this out together, and maybe instead of fighting one another and looking at it religiously and going, that's demonic, or that's a witch, or that's this, or that's that, it is. There are real witches who put real spells on people. Just like we have real enemies that are coming into our country. It's all real. There's nothing make-believe about what's happening in the world. But you got to be able to balance the two. You've got to be able to understand reality and spiritually, because you're on a higher frequency. You're on a different level. You see things differently, and you got to remember that not everybody's going to see it at your perspective. Not everybody's going to understand, but as you tell your journey, as you talk about what you've been through, as you go through what you're going through, the perspectives are those that are watching and seeing it. They're going, I never thought about it that way. Their minds are opening to something different, and they're healing, and things are happening in their lives, and giftings are coming out, and churches are growing who are under God's wing, and ministries are blowing up that are under God's wing because we are protected. It is biblical. No weapon shall form against us. You don't have to rush out and buy toilet paper unless you're going to give it away to other people who may need it. I don't know what else to say. You guys. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody can change something. We all can make a difference. We all can do something. We all have gifts. And if you trust in the Lord, and if you trust in God, and if you trust in yourself, and if you trust the people around you, you will grow, you will mature, you will become wiser. You will learn more. You will discern more. You will spend more time with God, because, my God, do you not get excited to spend time with someone who actually understands you and is feeding you and is guiding you and is helping you. But when you get distracted and all these things keep happening, you keep spending less time with God. But you learn to balance it, because sooner or later you go spiritual and you really just want to stay there for a really long time because it's really, really cool, and you don't want to come back down because it's so much better up there. And then you got to come back down. But God helps you balance that. When you discern and you know the shifting of what's happening and you know what's going on and you're flowing with it, you know what's coming next based on where you're at in your journey. Correct? You'll have a choice. You'll have a different perspective. You'll have a split in the road. You'll have the cross. You'll have different ways to look at something. Then this is where God says, If you're confused and you don't understand, I need you to be still. And do not get him to the point where he has to make you be still in your confusion. Because it's going to get harder for you to climb back up from hitting that rock bottom. Don't go back to the addiction in your confusion. Don't go back to your addiction when you're uncomfortable. Sit in it. Sit in it and go, I'm stronger than this. I'm better than this. I can do more than this. Okay, God, show me the way. What do I need to see? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? Push yourself mentally to align your heart. Somebody asked me today, they've got I'm on their fitness thing on Facebook or whatever, and she messaged me and she says to me, hey, do you have any kind of pointers or, I've been watching your journey, this and that, just some really, really sweet things. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And the first thing that came to my mind was body shaming. Summer's coming, the body shaming of people and things going on and this and that. And I said, this is where people will start to get frustrated. Because they're going to go out and they're going to be in public and they're going to see people a certain way and they're going to look at people a certain way and there's going to be jealousy and there becomes this and there becomes that. So people who are proud of themselves feel like they have to put something on because people are saying stuff or people are talking about stuff. Yet isn't that the same way how people who are big feel? See, just because we're looking good on the outside doesn't mean that we don't have issues happening on the inside of our confidence, of walking out like that and being proud of who we are. But if you knew our journey and you knew where we came from to where we're going, there would be no need for that body shame now, would there? And when you know where they're at in their journey, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because you're no longer looking at them physically, you're looking at them as a person. You're looking at them for who they are. You're looking at them for their soul. Doesn't it in the Bible say something about, God, I can't believe it because I thought about this today. See, this is where God goes with this, you guys. This is so weird. In the Bible, it says that God came in the form of man. A human man, right? He came in the form. Think about that for a second. We all form a body. We all have a shell. We all have skin that protects us. We all have things that are moving and neutrons and atoms and all kinds of stuff that's happening with all of us. And there's scientifically and there's biologically and there's spiritually. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening with us, right? We have layers. There's layers to us. But the easiest thing for the enemy to get to is what? Our hearts. The enemy knows how to get to our core. I think of the Grinch. And I had a heart was too small. I think I posted this like a year ago, actually, and talked about the Grinch and how he had a small heart and then his heart grew 3 times bigger because of all the people around him helped him see love differently, right? Wasn't that the Grinch? But aren't we seeing the reality of that? It's amazing what you can learn in a cartoon, y'all, or a show, or a whatever. Like, this is weird to me, because I talk about the Wizard of Oz, the heart, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, the Lion, the Courage, you know what I mean? And then someone posted about it later. This is just weird. I'm telling you all, this is so weird. But my point is that we are formed. We have a body. We have a shell to us. But we have a soul. We have a heart. And I talked about this and I posted it one time. And this is something to think about when we think about abortions. Go ahead. Say whatever you want to say. I don't care. My point is that When you go to have an ultrasound, do you see a baby? No, you see this tiny little seed. But what do you hear? A heartbeat. So you see, our soul, our heart, was formed way before our body was. We were planted as a seed. Depending on how you look at it, depends on your outcome. And I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to go any further with that. I'm going to leave that one right there. Just food for thought. What seeds are we planting? Are we taking care of the soil? Are we watering it? Are we helping it grow? Are we telling it good things? They tell you to talk to your plants, right? They tell you to tell good because they're alive. So you're going to talk to your plants better than you're going to talk to a person? Maybe. Because your plants don't talk back. I don't know. But come on, you guys. You get my point on what I'm saying about all this? Like, we got to go deeper in how we're starting to look at things that are happening in the world and things that are going on and how people are treating one another and what's going on here. But spiritually, can't we hold on to that? No one's holier than thou. No one's better than somebody else. But that's really, really hard when you got to put on the armor of righteousness, right? When you got to hold yourself with integrity. When your character matters, when who you are matters. It's really hard to let things go and be okay with it. I went through a lot of healing this past week, you guys. I've been through a lot of stuff going on. I had to let things go. I'm letting more people go in my life and being completely okay with that. Giving them to God. And going, I'm just going to have to keep going. And I have to just keep going forward in my life. And I have to just keep loving. And I have to just keep being me. And I have to just... Because I am at a point in my life where I've worked really, really hard mentally, physically, and spiritually that I am learning what some people want to say they're my worth or what I deserve or what I, and if that sounds egotistical or that sounds like here she goes, she's bragging, if you only knew my journey, you wouldn't be saying that. Because for me, that's a place of pride. But the devil can get in real easily, you guys. And you got to really, really fight that. So body shaming people when they're trying, it only gives them more fuel for some of them to fail. For others who are competitive like I am, you go right ahead and you tell me that because I'm going to show you you're wrong. That's the competitiveness in me though, y'all. Some of us are competitive and others are not, and you need to know who you can compete with and who you can't compete with and what you can do and what you can't. So when you're an Olympic champion and you are a female and you stand in front of a transgender and you've worked your ass off to have those medals and you let just anybody come and steal what's genetically theirs, y'all are off your rocker. on, you guys. When I look at what's happening in the world, it makes so much sense as to why we are being so brainwashed. Has anybody been to Houston, Austin, Boston, New York, Chicago, I think LA? Has anybody actually watched what's happening in the major cities? Has anybody seen what's going down? I can tell you that I don't. I don't watch TV. I have a TV. And do you know that I turn on every Sunday and I watch Elevation Sermon, and that's about the only time I ever watch TV. I try to watch a movie, and every time I turn a movie on, I can't get into it, and it doesn't thrill me. And so the things that have started to thrill me are watching knowledge and things on YouTube, and that's how I'm learning a lot of things. And I learn a lot through YouTube, actually. And so I get a lot of knowledge, and then it kind of lines up the things that I'm learning, and you hear from different perspectives, and you hear from different people, and you have an understanding of why they say it that way or why they say it this way, and where are they going spiritually when they talk about this. And so you research, you investigate it. Well, that's a lot what's happening in my job. There's no training in my job, and so it's all self-taught. And so I have to research. I have to get in there. I have to dig. And so I am learning a whole new way of doing something, and I prayed this in, and I asked for it the same way that I prayed spiritually. God, open my mind, show me what I need to see so I can start to understand more, so I can start to see more, so I can start to help people more. What do I need to do? So financially, it's happening for me, and spiritually, it's starting to happen for me. And physically, we're all seeing it happening. I don't know how else to explain what's happening, but it's happening. I don't know what to say. I now when I post and I go spiritually, I now say on my posts, just love me, y'all, because I know, and I go, no, I'm not on drugs. No, I'm not crazy. No, I'm not this, because I don't know how, because if you just read it, you go, God, but it also makes sense spiritually. It makes sense in a lot of ways, and I'm showing different levels and different ways of looking at things. But it just, and I was horrible in school. I talk about this in my videos. I have no math I sucked at, so I'm working on my finances because I'm not great at my finances. So this is a new realm for me to go in, and God's going, if what I hand you, can you handle? I can give you more. And so I biblically have to start looking at that differently for myself. And I said, okay, God, and so I've live in an RV, and I've been living in an RV, and I live a very simple life. And so God has sustained me, and I went 2 weeks of no pay, y'all, and I did just fine, and I'm not broke. And so God is providing, God is doing, things are going in that direction as far as that goes. Hang on, it's getting hot in here. Let me go turn my fan on. But other than that, you guys, honestly, God is doing stuff, and God is working through. And I'm seeing it, and you're seeing it, and we're all working together, and it's all happening, and it's all going, and I cannot wait to see what God does next. I walk this journey, or run this journey, or flow in this journey, or do my thing, whatever you want to call this at this point. I am now going in expectation of God. I go in going, oh, let's go. What is next? I go, heal me, show me, because I don't want to sit in it too long. I want to discern this quicker. I want to understand it quicker. I want to know it quicker. I want to be in wow more. I want to be excited more. I want to go and I just want to flow down the river. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see where this goes, you guys. I don't know what's next. I don't know where this is going, but I know that we're in a shift. I know that some of the planets are aligning differently. Things are happening differently, and especially in Sagittarius. I don't know all the lingo. I'm going to tell you this. Yes, I do watch tarot, and that's how I've opened my mind more to God. I watch tarot people who do align biblically. They may use different wording, but I understand them biblically. When they talk, I hear them spiritually, biblically when they say something. And a lot of the tarot that I do watch is a lot of self-help. They kind of know where I'm at. They sometimes kind of try to prepare you. This is probably what's going to be coming next just because these things align and this is what's going on. They're my therapist. I don't have to pay for therapy. They know the energy. They know what's happening. They know kind of what's going on. And you just kind of go, holy cow, this is crazy. And some of the things are way out there. And you just go, there's no way. But then, don't you say that about God? There's no way. But God, and you kind of go, I'm done limiting God. I'm done putting God in a box. I'm done questioning as much with him. I am done saying, there's no way God could do this. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just going, let's go, God. Because we're all watching it, and we're all seeing it, and we're all flowing, and we're all doing the hills and valleys, and we're all working together, and we're all coming together in this. And I go, holy cow. But I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I don't have anything else. I think that's all I got. Bye. Love you.